What is up, SmackNPie? SmackNPie here, and welcome back to another Dark Deception video. It's been a while. It feels like it's been a while since I've done a Dark Deception video. I did Outlast video yesterday. I was on a live stream, by the way. It's still up on the channel. We loved it. All of us. Good stuff. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Every SmackNPie that was in the live stream, we enjoyed it thoroughly, I hope. Any game that I want to play, I would just do a live stream instead of making a video. Anyways, today we're gonna do Dark Deception Chapter 4 update video. We have some huge announcements from Vincent Livings, the executive director of Dark Deception. And as you guys know, Dark Deception Mobile is in the works. It's coming soon. Dark Deception Chapter 4 is also coming soon. Therefore, Vincent Livings did a live stream in his live stream series, episode 2. It is 1 hour long, and there are a ton of questions people asked. So each question requires its own unique video. But you know what I did? I compiled questions that are important for us to talk about or to make a video on. Hence, I'm out here today. But we're not gonna go into every question's answers, details, whatever you wanna call it. Instead, today we are just focusing on one specific element. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking about Dark Deception Chapter 4 nurses. There are a ton, and I mean a ton, of things confirmed for the nurses level. There's also things confirmed for the Jojo gang, Chapter 5, and heck, even mannequins. That came out of nowhere actually, and even 10th portal, but that's for another video. Today we're just gonna compile everything we know from the live stream and everything we got from the live stream in today's video. So without wasting any more time, let us begin. We're gonna start with Dark Deception Hard Mode. Yes, this has nothing to do with nurses level. It may be because a later question actually connects to this, so we need to talk about this. So when someone asked about hard mode, because we are anticipating a hard mode for Dark Deception overall, we've been anticipating things such as what's gonna happen to the enemies, how much speed they're gonna gain, what's gonna happen to our powers. Are there no powers in hard mode except when you actually need them, when it is a part of gameplay? So when someone asked, Vincent Livings, the executive director, responded with this.
If there's a hard mode later, will it do more than just increase the speed of the enemies? Yeah, that's something that we're still kind of designing out, like what exactly hard mode is going to entail. It will up the speed of enemies to be much more challenging, but we are going to add in a few extra features as well to really make you guys pull your hair out. So hard mode's going to be for people who hate themselves and really want to punish themselves and really accept an insane challenge. It's basically going to be our game's kind of hell mode.
You heard it here, folks. That hard mode is just for the people who likes to push themselves to hell. Yes, he compared hard mode with literal hell. He said that hard mode is gonna be hell for players. Basically, in other words, we've been anticipating that in hard mode, speed of enemies will increase, their AI awareness is going to increase, but Vincent Links actually confirmed here that they're not just gonna increase the speed levels, they're also gonna increase a lot of other stuff. So it's gonna be near to impossible to beat this. I think it's gonna be like 50-20 mode, except here we have to collect shards instead of waiting for the time. And imagine people getting S rank on hard mode. Hard mode, I will try to do hard mode and I will try to beat it, but for me, I don't think this is for me unless until there's a story mode or there is a story stuff that I have to find that I could find in hard mode. Nah, it's like see, this is where you're wrong. I don't play hard mode unless until it provides some importance or value to me. But just like Vincent Living says, there might not be any importance other than that it's a part of gameplay. But let's move on. Now, let's talk about Big Nurse. As we all know, that when Chapter 3 was in the works, Chapter 4 was also just started to be in development. And one of the first thing we learned was the Big Nurse for Chapter 4's first level nurses. Now, we didn't even know that there will be multiple nurses until later. Big Nurse, the thick nurse, or thug nurse, as we would like to call here at SmackNPie. She has this medic bag on her head, so she has this stool that she stands upon, and there are those wheels or cart wheels. They're not even like modern technology wheels, they're like cart wheels. We were all anticipating how she's gonna perform because she looked like, and she still does, a Silent Hill nurse. You already know what Silent Hill nurses are. Hence, the news came out of nowhere, the theories came out of nowhere. We were theorizing, including myself, theorizing left and right what she's gonna do, what are the powers. She had a big giant syringe, and things were all over the place. People were like, nah, this ain't it, Chief. Glowstick Entertainment, you need to do something about it. Just a couple of them, not all of them. So Glowstick Entertainment listened and obliged, and they announced and revealed a new character, Reaper Nurses. Yes, nurses with S. That was the part where it was confirmed that there will be multiple nurses. These new nurses are like your modern type of nurses, kind of like a matchup between flirtiest character and evilness, like in between, like they possess both qualities, and they call Malak the Lord, like no thank you nurses. But everybody was like, okay, big nurse is gone, thank goodness, but I still kind of liked her, so maybe she could come back. Then Glowstick Entertainment revealed and confirmed that no, she's still a part of the game, and no, she's not just replaced by Reaper Nurses. Reaper Nurse will be part of the game, and so will Big Nurse. Now, we didn't know what she will be. All of us thought that, hey, she could be the boss battle. And that's exactly what Winston Livings talked about in the live stream. When someone asked this about Big Nurse being replaced and what's her role, he responded with, let's take a look.
Will Big Nurse be the boss in the nurse's level, or will she be an enemy while collecting soul shards? Understand if you can't answer. The Big Nurse is involved in the level. I can't say how she's involved, but yeah, she's not going to be a common enemy like the Reaper Nurses. I can say that much.
So that confirms a couple of things. Number one, that Big Nurse is involved. Secondly, he said that she's involved, but not in a way Reaper Nurse is. So she's not a common enemy. Yes, the common enemy, the enemies that just chase you around while you're collecting shards, nah, she's not common. So what we can learn from this is that Big Nurse may or may not be a boss fight. However, she is not a common enemy, which means she is involved in this level big time. She has a big role to play, unlike others. So this makes me think that she may not be the boss fight, she may not be the boss level, but in between Reaper Nurses and the boss fight. And who's gonna be the boss fight or whatever, I'll come to that in just a second, because that is also confirmed. Yes, a lot of things has been confirmed now. This is huge, and why, I'll come to that in just a second. But there's another thing that was confirmed that kind of got me. You know, we all love Reaper Nurses, but even more so because of her voice. She sounds just like Harley Quinn. Well, that's because she's voiced by Tara Strong. Of course, we all know Tara Strong, one of our favorite childhood voice actresses, voice actress. She's been part of so many wonderful projects. Main one for me is from The Killing Joke. It was one of the best movies. Well, kind of disappointing ending, but that's besides the point. We're not going to go into that. However, it is confirmed by Winston Livings that Big Nurse will have a voice. Once someone asked about it, he responded with, let's take a look.
Will the Big Nurse have a voice in the Reaper Nurse level? Yes, she will. And she's actually voiced by Kat Cressida. So, for you, those of you who do not know Kat, she did the voice of Agatha. So we brought her back, and she's doing the voice of the Big Nurse. She's still in the level. Maybe she's been replaced as the main enemy, but she's still involved in the hotel or the hospital level with the nurses. She just plays a different role this time. And we wanted to redesign a new nurse that we felt fit with the style of Dark Deception a lot better. And make that one the main nurse, while still keeping the Big Nurse, but giving her a more, well, I guess a more unique role, and changing her look as well to kind of match with the Reaper Nurses.
Yup, ladies and gentlemen, that is correct. Big Nurse will have a voice, and I can't imagine how she will talk, because it is also confirmed that Big Nurse will be voiced by none other than our favorite Agatha's voice actor. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Agatha's voice actress is returning, and for a good reason too. She will voice Big Nurse, the Thick Nurse, and the Thug Nurse. Yes, that's right, the Thug Nurse over there. And there is another thing confirmed, her name. Yes, and we will come to that in just a second. What's also confirmed is that she will not be the main character or main enemy, not the character, because she's the main character but not the main enemy, which means, just like we talked about earlier, she's not a boss, but she's also not an uncommon enemy, because she lies in between, like the Reaper Nurses and the big boss fights. She lies in between, a balance of both. So she's having voice. This was actually a really surprising, one of the best news I've heard in this live stream. Now, the final part of this video, the real deal. reveal why you're all here is what we're gonna talk about next. And that is the name / the reveal of Big Nurse, well, not really, and an accidental location reveal. What doesn't make any sense? Yes, when someone asked about Big Nurse, Vincent Livings replied with this.
So we brought her back, and she's doing the voice of the Big Nurse, whose name is actually the Matron. So that's her new official name, is the Matron.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is huge, and I mean, it's such a massive and big deal. I don't think he actually wanted to reveal this, but he technically did, because this is actually came out of nowhere. And honestly, we're so stupid that we didn't see it coming. Like, we've been talking about hospitals, asylums, chapels, churches. Like, we've been talking about everything possible related to nurses, doctors, wards, and all of that prison stuff, and we didn't see this one coming. Ladies and gentlemen, Matron. He, ladies and gentlemen, is the Big Nurse. You have Reaper nurses, and then you have Matron. Now, if you don't know what Matron is, let me read the definition of matron for you. Quote, a woman in charge of domestic and medical arrangements at a boarding school or other institution. Now, see two things specifically. Number one, a very specific gender, women, or woman in this case. And secondly, medical arrangement or medical institution is involved in this big time. We're not talking about any like boarding school or stuff like that. We're talking about a medical institution. And what this level is, that is right, it is nurses, asylum, hospital. We've been saying that in the game files, we found out that there is an asylum file location, and here we are finding out that there is a matron who is the head of medical institution. She is playing the role of Big Nurse. Is she the boss fight? Doesn't matter, because we just got confirmation that there is a medical institution involved. There is this whole scenario that we've been saying over and over and over again, that this, ladies and gentlemen, is huge. And with this matron confirmation, I think we are looking at other enemies other than Big Nurse or Matron or Reaper nurses, because we're looking far ahead than this. Because if there's a matron involved in this, then there are unstable people, patients, or even staff member involved in this situation. Hence, that we need a matron to control all of this, to basically take charge, take lead, to control the medical institution. Now, what does this mean for Chapter 4? It means that we're just getting started. Chapter 4 is way bigger, is way more thought put into chapter than I have first actually thought. Let me know your thoughts on the new matron and the hospital or asylum or medical institution stuff. Also, we will make an update video on all the monsters confirmed so far, all the locations confirmed so far. You have my thoughts now, you have my theories now, and now it's time for you to give your theories and thoughts down in the comments below, and watch these videos right here on your screen, and I'll see you on the flip side.